So you've probably read the thumbnail and thought, what is he going on about resetting your photography? Well, stick around and I'll explain. I'm in Kinloch U on the edge of Loch Maree and just about to head up into the Scots pines, and it's absolutely a beautiful day. Welcome to the vlog. So I'm following a woodland trail that takes me along the lower slopes of Ben Ayre, which is a nature reserve in Kinloch U. And the actual woodland trail sort of follows, we're just along the edge of Loch Maree. And this small nature reserve, well, I say small nature reserve, is around about 4,300 hectares. But this woodland trail takes you through some stunning Scots pine. Now, this is actually the third time I've done this trail, because the first time I came for a bit of a recce, got some lovely photos. Second time came up to do the vlog, and unfortunately one of the microphones failed. So this is the third time, but I'm still incredibly excited to come through here because the area is absolutely stunning. The sort of groups of Scots pines, I've never seen anything like it. They're absolutely beautiful. So we'll head on up. The trail's quite a climb. It goes around about 80 meters. So it's a bit of a hike, but definitely worth it. Let's go see what we can find. It has been incredibly wet here, but I have been informed that it does rain 2 days out of 3. So I don't know whether that means that perhaps you should only come on a Wednesday and a Saturday to get some sunlight. But I've got to say, this rain really has punched out the colour in some of this foliage. It is quite stunning. So what do I mean by asking that question? Is it time to reset your photography? Well, if you've been photographing for a little while, you remember that first time when you went out with a camera. You had no constraints. You just went out, you kept the camera in your hand, and you photographed everything. You weren't thinking about composition, light, shutter speeds and apertures. Most of the time you were just looking at different subjects to photograph, and the joy in that photography was actually being out and doing it. Now, I've been down across here on the west coast of Scotland for a little while, and it made me think. The other day I was walking around and I'd taken very few pictures, and it started me thinking about that initial time, that experience of just going out and photographing what you see with not so much thought on coming away with that perfect image. And sometimes I think we need to reconnect with that to bring back the joy and the love of photography. With so much information at our fingertips now, it's easy to be bombarded with hints and tips on how to do these things. And it's almost like, when we go to the doctors now, we've almost diagnosed ourselves before we get there. And definitely those hints and tips, how to take better photographs, how to use the light, they're definitely good. We need them. I've done them myself. But sometimes we need to really strip back to the basics and just remember what it's about. It's about being out and taking photographs. And there are ways that we can do that to reconnect back with what we love and enjoy. When I arrived at this point yesterday, there was some beautiful light just touching the hill behind me. Here's the image from that shot yesterday. So this is a perfect example of an image that I wouldn't normally photograph. This beautiful Scots pine caught my eye. It really is a beautiful shape. But that hill behind just dissects it straight through the top. And you kind of lose the contrast with the tree and the hills behind, and then you've got that patch of water. And it really does just sort of break all of those rules. But it's a beautiful tree. It caught my eye. Why shouldn't I capture it? Now, I recently learnt that the Scots pines that grow through this nature reserve are unique to this area. There's a slight difference in the chemical compound of the resin of these pines as there are in more central Scotland through areas like the Cairngorms. And they've been rewilding this area for a long time, but they're specifically using the seeds from these pines that are here just to keep that same Scots pine that's been growing for thousands of years. The good thing about going uphill is eventually you are gonna come down. So what can we do to get back to really just enjoying the experience of photographing? Well, there's a few things. First of all, put the gear aside, just take the camera with you, keep it in your hand, maybe just use one lens, or even just take your phone to snap images along the way while you're out. Just capture what you're experiencing. Another tip you can do is let go of those constraints of finding that perfect composition, that perfect light, and just photograph what you see and make it a record of where you've been and what you've been doing. And yes, there are going to be opportunities where you get that perfect image, but if you're always trying to come away with that perfect image, chances are you won't come away with any. I love the colours in this image. We've got the beautiful lilacs and purples with the heathers that go either side of the path here, and the path leads your eye in through to the foliage. And we've got these red dots of rowan berries just giving us a splash of colour on the backdrop. Another tip is to learn about the area and the subject that you're photographing. The more that you know, the more that you'll be inspired and captivated in what you are actually photographing, and it will help you connect with the area. Something else you can do is consciously photograph for you, not for that perfect Instagram shot or that perfect image to show your friends, but just for you, just a memory of somewhere you've been and captured with your camera. What is it that you remember when you first went out with a camera and started photographing? What were the things that really excited you? Let me know. I would love to hear from you. I love these two old gnarly silver birches that are just sat in the woods here. They look like they could really tell a story. And there's some beautiful backlight, just soft because it's behind the cloud, that's just lighting up behind them, making them really stand out amongst some of this bracken. Now, am I saying that we should stop learning to take better images? Not at all. We should always be striving to improve and to improve the work that we're doing, and that's important. But every now and again, I think we need to hit that reset button and remind ourselves what it is that we enjoy about photography and taking us back to that very beginning where it's all about the experience of enjoyment of being out there and doing it. So what have I taken away from this? Well, I know for myself, I'm going to go back to the camper van. We're going to get a cup of coffee. I'm going to leave Corin there enjoying a coffee, and I'm going to just come back with just my camera in hand and just photograph for me. I hope you've enjoyed this episode of the vlog. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe if you'd enjoyed it. And I look forward to seeing you in the next episode. Thank you so much for watching.